Hey, and welcome to Staging Studio Live, where today I am going to talk about the three most important rooms to stage in your home when you are listing. This information is applicable to realtors who are going to be coaching their clients through the styling and staging process, getting their home show ready. It's also applicable to the home sellers themselves. If you are thinking about putting your home on the market or you're already preparing to put your home on the market, this is something that you need to know, because with a little bit of effort, or maybe a lot of effort depending on the condition of your home and how you live in it, you are going to get a huge return on the time investment that you make to stage your home. Now, this applies to vacant homes and it also applies to occupied homes. So I'm going to be speaking to both of those types of homes. Sometimes people in their mind think when I say staging, I'm only talking about vacant homes, and that is not the case. You need to stage your occupied and your vacant homes when you are selling, because that is just merchandising your property. Just like they do in the stores, just like if you walk into a store and they've got all of these displays, and they've got in the clothes stores, they've got the outfits put together for you on the mannequins. If you go into a home decor store, they've got groupings of vignettes and things like that. That is all part of merchandising, because they know the art of it and they know how important it is to get you to buy their products. So when you are selling your home, it is no different. You are marketing your product to the person who is entering your home, and it needs to look spot on in order for you to get those high dollar offers. So here's what we're going to talk about today. Three most important rooms to stage. Why are those three rooms the most important rooms to stage, and how to stage those rooms for maximum impact. And when I get to that third section there, I'm going to address occupied homes and how to stage those for maximum impact. And then I'm going to talk about vacant homes and how to stage those for maximum impact. So a lot of information is getting ready to come your way about getting your home ready for the market and how to get those top dollar offers. And this is a great market to do that in. And a lot of people think, well, if we're in a really great market, then I don't really need to stage my home because it's going to sell. Yes, your home is going to sell, but is the objective to just sell your home, or is the objective to get the most money that you can get, to get those highest and best offers for your home so that you have more money to invest into your next home? That's the objective. So let's get started. All right, let me just share a few statistics with you, because I think that that's helpful in understanding the importance here. So here's the three most important rooms to stage in your home. 2019 Profile of Home Staging Report gives us some percentages. 47% of buyers said that it is important to stage the living room. They want to see the living room staged. 42% of buyers said they want to see the master bedroom staged. And 35% of the buyers say that they want to see the kitchen staged, which would also include any adjoining eat-in area, breakfast nook. Some kitchens include the dining room in that. So that's sort of all encompassing. And so let me say this. For an occupied home, if you are selling your home while you're living in it, these are the three rooms that are most important to make sure that they look top-notch show ready. But it is important that you're really going through each room of your home and getting it ready for the market too. You don't need to necessarily put any extra money into these rooms per se. If there's going to be some money that you have to put into some rooms, it's going to be the top three rooms. If you need to buy a few extra things, but you do need to declutter all the rooms, and you need them to look nice and presentable. like if you were having a guest to come over and stay. So that's something that I want you to keep in mind. We don't want you to just completely ignore the other rooms in your home if your home is occupied. Now, if the home is vacant, you're going to focus on staging, those 3 rooms, and then you're just going to let everything else, be a blank canvas for their imagination. And hopefully they can have some imagination if you are getting the picture started for them in the other rooms. Okay, let's talk about the living room first, since that was 47% of buyers says that is important to them. Let's talk about occupied homes first. Here's what you need to do to get your living room ready, occupied home sellers. You need to declutter. For sure, you've got to declutter. Get anything extra off the floor, get anything extra off the tables. A buyer doesn't need to come in and identify you living there. So you want to remove your personal items, any heirloom, small knick-knack sort of stuff that would be specific to you and your family, any personal photos, any pictures of your pets and animals. It's not that the buyers don't like animals and pets, but buyers cannot picture themselves living in your home if they see your face all over the home. Okay, and that may not make a lot of sense until you are a buyer perhaps, but just trust me on that. You've got to remove those things that are super personal to you when you are getting your home ready for staging. So do that in the living room. The next thing, you can add some neutral curtains. Maybe you don't have any curtains at all. Curtains are fabulous. They bring a coziness to the home. They bring a, just real intimate lived-in feeling in your occupied home. But you may have curtains, and you may have dark curtains. You may have black curtains. You may have navy curtains. You may have some really bold color or very patterned curtains. I would recommend that you switch those out for some neutral panels. Those are not super expensive. I get my panels off of Amazon, and maybe even something that you can use somewhere else, or maybe you can decide to leave those for the people buying your home. If you don't want to leave your curtains, you need to put in the contract that the curtains do not convey, because anything hanging on the rods that are attached to your walls will go with the sale of your home unless you indicate otherwise. So do neutral curtains in your living room. Do them all the way to the floor if that makes sense for your floor plan. All right, proper furniture arrangement. Super, super important. You can go on my website. There's information on there. If you haven't already, you probably received my freebie that talks about furniture arrangement. That is so super key, that to make sure that your furniture arrangement is placed properly. Because if they walk in and your furniture arrangement is all jacked up and all over the place to suit your particular needs for your family, then they're automatically going to see that furniture arrangement as the arrangement that their furniture is going to have to be in that room, and they may think that's not going to work for them. So you need to find the best furniture arrangement using that guide that I provide on my website, and show them what that arrangement is. You don't want to have traffic flowing through the middle of the room. You want to pull your furniture in from the walls if you have an open floor plan or a large space. You want to only have one focal point, which is my next point. One focal point. So many people have more than one focal point. They will perhaps have a fireplace, and then they will also have a TV placement in a different place, because a lot of times you can't put your TV over your fireplace, or maybe you don't want to, but those are competing focal points. There are some ways to detract if you've got 2 focal points and there's nothing you can really do about it. There's things that I have done in the past when I have staged occupied homes to detract from that other focal point, because we really want to focus on the one, and typically it's the fireplace. If you're not really sure what to do about that and you need my help, of course you can get in touch with me, and I do provide those services for people that just have some questions about what do I do about this, multifocal point issue that I've got. You also want to add pillows and throws to your couch. Please do not have those pillow covers matching your couch fabric. I do recommend that you go neutral with that, but I do recommend that you have pillows on your couch and that you also have a throw. Maybe you have 2 throws. I've got 3 throws in my living room, and I've got multiple pillows. So you can go neutral on all of that, and it just really throws and pillows are somewhat of an emotional connection point with people because it just makes the room feel more inviting and cozy. The other thing that I would suggest you add to your occupied living room is a floor plant. And floor plants are great. They add a little pop of color. They add some natural interest to the room, and they bring the outdoors in, especially if you're going to open up your curtains wide, have your blinds up to show your views, and it just kind of draws the eye from, you know, inside to outside, and it just makes everything feel really cohesive and open. It also fills a blank corner. So floor plants are great when staging a home. Also, lastly, for the living room for occupied homes, use a rug to define your space. If you have carpet, then you can use a rug. It really depends on the carpet you have, but that's not necessarily a no-no. If you need to define a space and draw your furniture in because your furniture maybe is not against the walls because you've got a walkway around the outside perimeter of your living room, which is very common, then a rug can really ground everything in that room as far as your furniture pieces. So, and rugs are also great because some rooms feel very sparse without a rug and curtains. They just don't feel like home. And that's what you're trying to do, is you're trying to make this home feel like home to someone that doesn't live in this home. All right, next thing, vacant homes. For your living room, here's what you need. This information may be more for realtors, but you need a rug. You need a rug in the living room. I never stage a vacant home without a rug in the living room. You're going to need a couch. It doesn't have to be a huge couch. It can be a modern style couch, which are usually less heavy. And they just have very clean lines. They're very simple. And you're going to need a couple of throw pillows to go on that couch. You're going to also need a coffee table. You're going to need at least one side table. Depending on the size of the room, you may need 2. The side tables do not need to match, nor does the coffee table need to match. Matching sets are really not all that in right now, so you can be a little bit creative. If you need some ideas on that, you can go to my website, into my staging gallery, and you can see that I don't even have a coffee table and 2 end table sets that all match. So you can check out some of my staging gallery examples there. Also, I always add a console table, not a huge one, usually a very light table that will serve to show the focal point in the room or the TV placement, because people are always like, oh, where am I going to put my TV? So if you'll add a console table to the spot where the TV would go or wherever the focal point of the room is, then you can add some accessories to that console table, and you can also add a piece of artwork over the console table to give them an idea of where the TV would be placed in relation to the rest of the furniture in the room. So that's always a great idea as well. Last thing that I always add to a living room vacant stage is a floor lamp. This is something that just takes up space in the corner. It draws their eye from the sharpness of the corners of the room. And so if you'll add a floor lamp and then also a floor plant is fabulous. Normally I always have those 2 things out in the corners of the room. All right, let me move on to the master bedroom. That was the 42% of buyers said that it was important for them to see the master bedroom stage. So let me talk about occupied homes first. Here is how you stage your master bedroom for maximum impact. You avoid a themed bedroom design. You might have the loveliest, really cool duvet cover or comforter on your bed ever that has some really cool like theme, a nautical theme, or I don't know what other kind of theme you might have, but you might have something. And it is recommended that you tuck that away and that you just get white. Just get something neutral to put on your bed, because that theme is not going to speak to everyone, and it just adds your personality to the master bedroom, and they need to see themselves in the master bedroom enjoying that space. And we don't want to distract them with any kind of themes going on. We really want them to focus on the home itself and how they could actually live in that home and be comfortable in that home. All right, so you want to add soft bedding, throw pillows. You really can't add too many throw pillows as long as they're neutral and coordinating. And I always add a throw blanket to the bed. I kind of just gather it up and toss it over. And that's just so inviting and relaxing because people can start seeing themselves unwinding after a hard day at work in their master bedroom. You want to add soft pops of color. You don't want it to feel like a hospital room, obviously, but you want to add really soft pops of color. That would be like blushes or soft grays or soft blues. And the reason I say soft pops of color is because the less bold colors you use, the more open the room's going to feel, the larger the room is going to feel. And there are a lot of people that have very strong aversions to bold colors, like red evokes anger. There's a lot of different psychology behind colors. And if you use softer colors, you're less likely to trigger something that someone may have an aversion to as far as a color goes. And also greenery. Pops of green in your florals and succulents are perfect for the bedroom. It really gives the feeling of cleanness, relaxation, nature, peacefulness, all that lovely stuff that you want to feel when you are unwinding in your bedroom. Also, clean out your closets. Most people have way more stuff than their closet can hold. So what you don't want to happen is you don't want a buyer to look in your closet, even if your closet is huge and it's just so packed full of stuff and they're like, oh my gosh, they don't have enough stuff. They don't have enough closet space for their stuff. So I'm not going to have enough closet space for my stuff, even though I may not have near as much stuff as you do. So it's a psychology thing. So you want to make sure you clear it out super nicely so there's lots of open space in there so that they're like, wow, this is a huge closet and it's going to be big enough for me because it's big enough for them. And also in your ensuite bathroom, if you have one, you want to remove all of your toiletries, really, like your shampoo. And unless you've, unless it looks like an Airbnb in there with branded stuff, you want to just remove all of that and just tuck them in a basket and tuck them under the sink when you're showing your home. And you want to add white towels. Maybe you don't have white towels, but it's going to be totally worth it to get you some white towels because people want to feel like your bathroom is clean and crisp. So use your towels there. You don't have to actually use them. Put them out when you're showing your home and then tuck them away when you're not. And then again, add greenery. You're going to need to go shopping for some greenery for your home that you're listing. Okay, let's talk about vacant staging. What size bed should you use for the master bedroom and vacant staging? Queen. Always a queen. That's what I always use. A king is just cumbersome and big to bring in, and it really takes up a lot of space. And a queen will show the room in its best light, because if you try to stick a full in there, people are going to look at that bed and say, there's no way we could sleep in that bed. The bed's going to take up more room than this. And then, so give them what would be doable, and then they could be like, oh, well, we have a king, but yeah, I could see how that would fit. So you do a queen. Use thick, comfy bedding. You don't want to use like a quilt that's just super thin. Normally what I will use is a down, and I will throw that over the bed, and then can throw a bedspread over that, and it makes it just look really fluffy and comfortable. So you want it to have some texture. You want it to have some thickness. You want to add throw pillows. You want to add a blanket to that. You also probably, if there's room, you want to add 2 side tables. Again, the side tables do not need to match. If 2 won't fit and it makes it kind of crowded, then just do 1. And I also normally will do lamps on those side tables, and then maybe 1 accessory on each, and maybe a book underneath each of those accessories. A book is an emotional connection point, so those are always good to add. Also, again, just like I explained in the living room, I always add a console to show where like the dresser might be placed. And a lot of people have a TV in their room. So by using a picture above that console, you can also show this might be an ideal spot for your TV in your bedroom. And also, I don't always, it depends, but a lot of times I will add a rug to the room, tucked under the bottom of the bed, up around the sides. It does need to be the right size rug, and I have a whole nother coaching on right size rugs that you can access or that you can ask me about. But I always use natural colors in my staging to just makes everything look bigger, and it's going to appeal to the masses of the buyers. All right, last room in the home. We're going to talk about the kitchen. The kitchen is important for staging because that's where we spend a lot of our time. For me, I don't love spending time in the kitchen. I don't love cooking, but I'm in the kitchen a lot, because we've got 5 people currently that live in this house, and I'm in the kitchen a lot. So even if I don't love to cook, when I am going to look in a home, I want that kitchen to look like somewhere I want to be, even though I don't really want to be there. So this is what you're trying to do is you're trying to create an atmosphere where, hey, you're going to be in this kitchen, and whether you love being in the kitchen or not, you're going to love being in this kitchen. So you really just want it to feel like a nice, inviting place that you want to be. So that's why you want to stage the kitchen. And also because that's where you picture your family getting together. A lot of families are busy, and that's the only time that they get together is for that 30 minutes to 45 minutes at the table. So you want to create that lifestyle saying, hey, this is where you can have that awesome family time that you need, just a little bit of time every day. So for the occupied homeowners, you want to organize your cabinets and clear the clutter. If you think that people aren't going to open your cabinets, you are certainly wrong, because they will open your cabinets. If they open your cabinets and things are crammed all up in there, it doesn't make them feel good. It makes them feel yucky, and it makes them feel like, well, you don't have room for all your stuff, so I'm not going to have room for all my stuff. So clean them out, make them neat, and especially if you have some cabinets with glass cabinet doors, those need to be styled up. Like add about 4 plates, add about 4 bowls. Those need to look really neat and tidy and just really pretty, not necessarily functional for staging your home. They just need to look pretty. All right, and clearing the clutter off the counters. Remove every single thing from the countertop appliance-wise. Nobody needs to see the appliances you use on your countertop, because when they go in to view your kitchen, they really don't want to be thinking about cooking in there probably. They want to just be thinking about all the good things about enjoying the space, okay? So remove all of that. Now, you don't want to leave your countertops bare because that doesn't feel warm and cozy. You want to add, here's some examples of what to add. You want to add a vase with some flowers. It's always nice on the island. Bring a little teeny bit of color in. You also want to, you can have an open cookbook in the corner on a stand, because I always try to put something in the corners of the kitchen to draw the eyes away from the hard lines. So a cookbook is really nice. Cookbooks are, make us, what am I trying to say? Bring back good memories of cookbooks, of our grandparents or whomever loved using cookbooks. I know we don't use cookbooks much anymore, but it just creates a really warm feeling. And a tea kettle on the stove is always really nice. It needs to be a nice tea kettle. It needs to be neutral and go with the style of the kitchen, of course. And then also a nice little touch is to add a place setting. So if you have a bar and you have a table in your kitchen, I wouldn't do both, but you could add a couple of, if you've got a 4-person seating, you can add a placemat, you can add maybe a charger, and then you can add a plate on top with a napkin. So you could kind of do that to kind of set the stage for that. Those are also emotional connection points. All right, here's what you can do in a vacant home. Here's what I normally do in the kitchen. I add lots of greenery to the kitchen. I also add a coffee tray setup. And I normally do that. I do a tray, and then I put some coffee cups on it, and then I put a coffee some coffee accessories around it, and just make it just feel really nice and welcoming. And also, I always do vignettes in the corner, and then a dish towel draped over the sink. That's also an emotional connection point, because people can relate, to using the dish towel in the kitchen, and it also adds a lot of texture when you can add softness like that. If there is a bar in the kitchen, I would add some bar stools, and then I might do a place setting on the bar. If it's a 4-person bar, you don't have to add 4 bar stools. You can just add 2 bar stools. Something to show the people visually, how many people can I feed in this kitchen? So that's always really important. All right, a couple things that I want to go back to, and then I'm done, that I have neglected to tell you. As far as the living room, why is it important to stage the living room? That is important because, first and foremost, it's probably going to be the first room that they see when they walk through the front door. So they automatically need to be impressed when they walk in. It sets the tone for the rest of the home tour. It's the place that the family gathers. It's the most frequently used room in the home, as far as at least traveling through it, even if you don't land there the most of the time. And so it's the room in the house that all the family members are going to use consistently. So you want to make sure that that's on point. And a lot of people, even though they won't entertain, they like the idea of being able to entertain. So you're showcasing that. The master bedroom is important to stage, because that is the place that the people that are paying for the house are going to retreat to, are going to get their rest, their rejuvenation. Maybe they're going to hide out from their kids there. I don't know, but you want to just give them that oasis and show, hey, this is what you can come home to after all the work is done, after taking care of everyone is done. This is where you get to retreat to, and this is your hideout, during the day if you need to escape, and just rejuvenate and relax. So that's why that's important. And of course, I talked about why the kitchen is important, because it's the place that your family gathers. It's the place that you may not want to spend a lot of time, but you're going to spend a lot of time in there. So it's important to showcase all the awesome things about how fabulous that kitchen is. Okay, so I have given you a lot of information about the 3 most important rooms to stage in your home. I hope you have found this very informative, and you can go to my website, check out my staging gallery, get some ideas. If you have questions, pop in on Design Advice on the Fly. If you need some one-on-one time with me, get in touch with me. Let me know. I'm happy to help you with getting your home on the market so that you can get the highest and best offers. I'll see you next time.